61-51 as the Warriors lead the Kings at the break. Sabonis was not able to play, and that is certainly not good news. The Kings had this as a very manageable game, though. They were getting blown out. They were down 23 guys. But I got to go back to the first quarter again. How often did we come on at halftime and talking about such a bad start for this team? You know, at some point, Doug Christie's got to make a change with the starting lineup. You just cannot play behind the eight ball on all these games, Jerry.
Yeah, it's really just point of ridiculousness because it's such a big hole every first quarter, and I mean clearly the Kings have done a nice job getting back in the game. They're clearly back in the game, and the Warriors,
Yep.
they'll turn it over just like the Kings have been. So really disappointing start. I mean, I really was surprised by that. I thought after the embarrassment to the Knicks that team would come out and really take care of the ball and play with a little fire. Didn't see it.
Yeah, Jerry, we really didn't see much of anything offensively from that first unit. They couldn't even get to a single spot where they wanted to start their offense, Jerry.
No, they were just closed down, and then of course on the other end, they basically the Warriors got about anything they wanted, especially just wide open feet set threes. So very very poor, just very poor first quarter. Only way you could put it. To their credit, I think the bench, of course, Keon Ellis doing what he does. He's been outstanding, and LaRavia, I thought really give the team a lift.
3-point shooting for the Warriors, very good. We talk about the Kings' perimeter defense, which has been poor all year. But, you talk about Keon. He had 3 steals, 2 at the end of the half, which led to baskets. So, I mean, the Kings are in this game. A 10-point deficit against the Warriors is not much because of the style of play. So we'll see. I really was encouraged with the last 4 or 5 minutes of that first half.
Yeah, me too. I was hoping they could get it to 12 or 14, and of course getting to 10. That's really nothing in today's game. But the key is going to be come out in the third quarter and play like you did at the end of the second. Keep the pressure on the Warriors. And I think, and as you pointed out, Keon Ellis is a big part of whatever good things happen for the Kings, especially on the defensive end.
Yeah, he's done a really good job on Steph Curry. He's been face guarding him, not leaving him or helping off whatsoever. Curry with only 5 points there in the first half, Jer.
Yeah, no, he's Keegan played him for a while, and then Keon Ellis, and they, like you say, they've taken Curry pretty much out of the game. But of course, the bad news is they're giving other guys wide open shots, and they're making them.
Yeah, I don't expect Draymond Green to have that type of a half coming up. But I'll tell you this: Steph Curry. Say what you want about how well the Kings are defending him. I would be very surprised if he still doesn't end up with 20 or more points, and he's got 5 right now. Rhino.
Yeah, absolutely. Same could be said about Jimmy Butler, only 4 points in the first half. They were a little slow out of the gates in the last meeting, got it going in the third quarter. So, Jerry, the Kings are really going to have to focus on making the Warriors feel them because the Warriors are getting to the free throw line. The Kings are not.
Yeah, exactly. And as Grant pointed out, I mean, I think with Curry and Jimmy Butler, they do have a tendency to play their way into the game and then give Steve Kerr a lot of credit. I mean, he'll make adjustments to get those guys more involved. I mean, he's been doing that for years.
Kings with a very important 24 hours after tonight. They fly to Phoenix and take on the Suns tomorrow, who are idle tonight. I know I have been saying this a lot. Now it's a little bit different with the number of games dwindling. I'm looking at how the Kings are playing as much as I'm looking at whether they're winning or losing because I'm looking at the big picture here. I'm still concerned about the inconsistency of this team. Now, in all fairness, one of the main pieces is out in Domantas Sabonis, and he's been out now for a while. But even before that, the inconsistency of this team is just leaves your head, me scratching my head, guys. It's puzzling to me.
Yeah, you see it. I think you see as much on offense you do on defense. I mean, I have watching them for all year, and as a fan, I'm not sure what they're trying to do offensively and where they're trying to get their shots. It's whereas I thought earlier in the year you could pretty much see where they're going to get shots. Now, Sabonis has a lot to do with that because he steadies the offense when he's got the ball for the most part. They don't have that anymore.
The contrast of the last group that was on the floor to end the second quarter that really gave the Kings that run, the way they're moving the ball around, the way that it's kind of flowing together, you're getting transition, Jerry, makes that first group almost look even more awkward.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's just simply a matter of basically spacing, ball movement, and player movement, and good things happen, as opposed to kind of look for my shot and I can't get it. I'll throw it to somebody else.
Right.
Go get his shot, and then all of a sudden the clock's running down.
Yep.
Can the Kings win this game if Zach LaVine doesn't get going? And it's kind of weird. He only took 3 shots, guys, in that first half.
Well, they did a good job on him. I mean, I'll give them credit too, much like what the Kings have done to Curry. But to your point, no, they can't win unless Zach LaVine gets going, and he's certainly capable of that. Just like a Curry, he's capable of getting on a heater, and he'll have to for them to win. I think he's got to go for a 15-point half if they're going to have a chance to win.
Yeah, and you got to keep the guys going that are going right now. Keon Ellis, 3 of 5 from the field, 2 of 4 from beyond the arc. LaRavia has not been bad. He's 50% from the field. So don't let those guys fall off the map either.
No, but it's going to be your big guns in a game like this because the Warriors' big guns, in all likelihood, meaning Curry and Butler, are going to get going. I still think as much as you're going to need the bench, you're going to have your main guy score. That means Malik Monk, who didn't do much in the first half, 4 points. Zach LaVine, 5 points. You're not going to win the game unless you have a 60-plus point second half. If you don't score at least 60 points, minimum 60 points in the second half, you're not going to win. Plain and simple. Your offense has got to get going, and that means your main guy has got to start scoring.
Yeah, you hit on it because, I mean, the only way you're going to have 60 exactly, and the only way you can do that is with LaVine, Monk, and DeRozan being more effective and coming up with some pretty good numbers because, the Warriors are going to get their 60 or 50 at least. So, that's where it is. You've got to still play good defense, but that offense is LaVine in particular, I think, more than anybody can he has the ability to really get this team back in the game more than any other player.
Yeah, and the paint is wide open in this game, guys. Only 18 points in the paint for the Kings, 12 for the Warriors.
Yeah, it's a very interesting number. All right, so Rhino, what do you think the final score is going to be tonight?
I think it's going to be Golden State 123, Sacramento 109.
Yeah, I've kind of got it. Warriors 122, Kings 116. I think, kind of final number type thing.
I got the Warriors winning this game 126 to 111. So
okay.
Let's hope we're wrong on the post-game show. And then you got to, we talked about this. If this game does get out of control, and right now it's not, it's right there for the taking. But if it gets ugly, you got a game tomorrow night, and it'll be interesting to see when Doug calls off the horses, so to speak, and rest his guys for tomorrow, because this is not the time of the year when you want to go into a slide. The Kings are 5-5 in their last 10, and they've dropped 2 straight. So this is not the time of year you want to go on a losing streak.
No, and then certainly Phoenix is a team you can beat. Right now, you'd expect to beat them. So, but your point is right. I mean, you want to, if the game's out of reach, then move on. But I'm just, I kind of be surprised if the Kings don't have a chance early in the fourth, but we'll see.
It's going to come down to that third quarter start. Third quarters, the past few games have decided games with the Kings. They either come out really well, hitting 8 field goals in a row, or they give up 5 field goals in a row to start, Jer.
And it'd be nice if they take care of the ball a little bit too.
My goodness.
The turnover ratio again. The Warriors are handsy and they're scrappy, but you still no reason to some of the turnovers they've had.
Well, Jerry, some of these turnovers, Grant, make me want to go look into these guys' accounts to see if they put any bets down. Like, I
know. It's unbelievable, isn't it? It is absolutely. It just mystifies you, Jerry. When you watch the Warriors play, What impact do you see? What's the real impact that Jimmy Butler brings to this team? Is it and what he's able to do defensively? I mean, there are possessions when he's guarding 2 or 3 guys. It's pretty amazing what he's doing.
Well, I think more than anything else, he's a complete player. He's a solid defender. He doesn't take bad shots. He moves the ball when it needs to be moved. He dribble penetrates if he needs. He just does what's needed out there. He'll get stats, but he's not looking for stats. I always say that's kind of the mark of a good player, and he does it. Like I say, I don't think you'll ever see him hardly force a play of any type. And defensively, he's a solid to above average defender on several positions.
Well, there we have it. It's a 10-point game. Rhino, we'll be back at the conclusion of this one, and we'll see if the Kings have some good news. If not, you got to figure out a way to regroup and get ready for tomorrow. But, 23-point game. It was looking bleak there, and the Kings went on a run at the end of that quarter. So they're right back in the game. Let's see how the third quarter goes. Jerry, thank you very much. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Talk to you tomorrow. Take care, guys.
Thanks,
All
Jerry.
right, Rhino, we'll talk to you at the end of the game, buddy.
Can't wait.
Everyone else, enjoy the second half. Thanks for joining us here on If You Don't Like That.